you straighten me up a little bit? Come on, Jay.
Oh boy. I was like, wasn't there a bigger boat last time?
Just keep very steady and look forward, that's helping. Is she walking round? When we get there, we're gonna go bonk and both wobble.
Vietnam.
Oh yeah, Vietnam #1. Never again.
Yeah.
The video is
Have
hilarious.
you seen it?
No, I've not seen it
We'll
yet.
have to send it to you because it is horrifying.
We are shit scared.
It's the scariest thing I've ever done. But
Shit scared.
Were the boat drivers scared though? Like,
Because-
It was a little old lady.
we
yeah, but
should
did she
always
care?
film
Like, there's
now.
this 200 kg bike in
No,
that
we
little
had a
boat.
little tiny boat. We didn't get the big platform.
Both of us on the small boat.
Like,
I got on
300 kgs high up, and the thing is, the lady comes walk, and it's
Four
to the land.
elephants on
It's on the
fucking
land, and it's okay.
boat.
And then as soon as they push off, it's like, oh no, because I was gonna have my camera. I was like,
It's
oh.
so funny, yeah, watching it, because I'm literally like, Calvin, look, just look ahead, stay still.
And I'm trying to match him too, and he's like, Calvin, dude, I'm doing the same thing because I know if it goes to a certain point, there's no saving it.
Like we're both on
You
it,
go.
and the boat just started to go like this,
And
and you're doing that with your leg.
And then you go the other way, and then
Yeah,
I've
you
got
go the
my
other
video
way.
footage, and
Yeah.
then there's Calvin's video footage,
God,
and
it's
you
so
can
awful.
you can see him doing this with his head. And
I'm not trying. No, I'm trying to balance this disease as best I can, but
scary.
it's just because these bikes they're heavier than we're used to, and we thought like, oh, it'd be fine, and we just realized, oh no, we should have got the big platform because.
Charged us 20k each to get across, which
Yeah.
was more than last time, which was fine.
But next time I'd be like, look, I'll pay you 200,000, bring the platform
Bring a
because
shit.
it's not worth
I
dropping
had one,
to.
I had a big boat.
You guys all ride, you've all ridden the dual sports XRs and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
you actually went out and bought a CB. You seem to want a CB, and you like the CB. So these heavier bikes.
I just need
But
a
why is it you want these heavier bikes? I don't really. To me, I want the small light bike for the kind of riding we do. But you guys are all going more towards the adventure.
My missus.
Your missus.
So
you need her-
ass, so, you know, I've got to take
That's
the
it.
missus with me, innit?
Yeah,
Sure,
it's not
right.
comfortable for
funny.
us.
Yeah, if I want to go to yay distance, yeah, and I want to go this way, oh, missus,
And he has
I
the
want
dog
to come.
in a
Oh yeah, and the
bag.
dog.
The dog is
The whole
cheap
family.
as
He's
well.
got room for the whole
Yeah,
family.
I've got to get something made for the dog.
Oh, get like a
But-
basket on the back.
But saying like, so yeah, I was, you know, oh yeah, let's get this CB.
Yeah.
But now, it like going down the trails the other day,
I'll
I'll
buy it
just
off you for
give
half
it
the price you paid
fuck
for it.
off.
Yeah.
Like,
But you guys seem to be enjoying almost the scare factor of it. That it is out of your. It's so heavy, but it's out of your control. So
It's nice driving different
Oh,
types
yeah.
of bikes.
I would say
And
also
it is-
sound.
it is
Full on
bliss on the road.
motocross to a
Yeah.
dual sport to a road bike to then to a dual or the CB. I think it's nice having different styles and.
so you like
figuring out-
variety.
Yeah, I do, but at the same time, like we're both big, so the CB was fun on when we did the trip to Ballock. It was fun on the roads.
Yeah.
It cruised everywhere. It went off road. We had pretty good
We
fun
did-
off road.
For me, the mods, I reckon the mods can make a massive difference
On the big bikes.
on that CB. Because
Yeah.
at the moment, I've got that big screen. It's in the way, so that needs to be changed. The lights are shit. I need new spotlights on it.
Yeah.
Tires. I need new tires because they're terrible.
Yeah.
I've slipped twice on them already, and I nearly stacked it.
Yeah.
The ABS was nice though. I found the ABS,
ABS,
quite
I
useful.
enjoy.
weird.
Yeah, I enjoy the ABS.
For me, it was weird because we were going down. We were in Captain near Haichu. We were going downhill, and I feel the ABS. I feel it kicking in. I'm like, oh, I've never ridden it like with ABS, so I feel it's not locking up. And I know with the smaller bikes because they don't have anything. There's no technological aids to help you. So if you stomp on that,
We
you
didn't
break.
crash down the hill. You did.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
did too. But like it's nice to have it on the big
I
bikes.
come off
Although,
head first.
although I do wish it was switchable. That would be a nice feature because I know in the newer 250Ls.
You can get a mod to change.
Yeah, you get a mod, but I know it's standard.
You mean
on
to
the
turn
new
it on
bikes
and
that
off?
have it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
but like
On
you
the
said,
older
if-
one, not the
All
newer.
right.
Yeah, but it's
You
still
could-
nice to have
you
though.
could buy
Yeah.
something.
But like you said, if you're doing a longer trip, it's just nice because you're just less fatigued. When you're doing like 250, 300 kilometers a day, we didn't do super, but like you can just go and you can cruise, and it's not like it's gonna rip your arms off. It's just it's got all the power you want. If you've got like if you're heavier dude like us, sorry Matt, if you're a
Normal
heavier
size.
dude, or
Sorry
like
for
or
not
just
calling
if you
you
have
heavy.
luggage.
Okay, that's over it.
That's alright, man. But it just
I'm
and
learning, the guys are
if
learning.
you're used to bigger bikes overall, like if you've ridden bikes back home, it's like it has the power that you've maybe been craving or missing, and you're just kind of like, oh, and you hit the throttle, and it's like, oh, hello. And it's nice when you go on the twisty roads because you feel like it's at the slower speeds you feel the weight, but like I mean, for the most part with the stuff that we did, it was really grippy.
It's smooth
now,
as well.
the part I did coming back from Ho Chi Minh near Vung Tau, the road was muddy and we had the street tires on it. And what had happened was and I was seeing footage for this, and they went over the puddles, and I was like, okay, I stood up, did the thing. I'm like, okay, and it went down. But then what happened was I think it just lost traction.
Yeah.
And it wasn't going fast; it just lost traction, and then it went like this. I'm like, oh crap. And then like, I'm on the road, but I kind of went off the road a little bit, and I was like, oh crap, okay. I didn't have my off-road boots on. I just had my regular hiking boots and knee pads because I was just doing road, nothing crazy. And I was just kind of like,
I've seen them.
I got a little scared. Yeah, I got a little scared because I was like, oh man, if this goes, like you just have to jump out from underneath because like the last thing you want to do is fall on your leg. But like it's just like that was a really muddy road. That was a really muddy road. I wouldn't usually take it on stuff like that, but I think that maybe like slightly more aggressive tires would help. But
yeah, definitely. 100%.
Sometimes when they just get away with you, they get away from you, and there's no saving it. And like all the stuff that you've learned from the smaller bikes does transition over pretty well. Like even when we took the bikes that are slightly modified, it was, it's not a big dirt bike, but you can.
It's what Matt said. He goes, I thought I'd show off and take them up this hill because you were on your CRF.
Yeah.
So he flies up the hill, and we're just right behind him.
It was
Like, oh.
That was a deciding factor. They did it. But now try that in the wet now.
Yeah, no chance.
It's just traction unless you deflate the tires or get full-on proper knobs on them.
Well, I did the Ho Chi Minh Road on the CB500, and we met a guy who was on an XR150, and I thought we would smoke him, and I didn't want him to join our group, but he did, and we couldn't lose him. He stayed with us the whole way. I couldn't believe it. But then I realized like how narrow that road is, and how twisty it is, and if you're driving safe, you can't go around these corners blind or fast. So. We couldn't shake him. Yeah. But anyway, in this country, you see the main market really is what road bikes like Kawasaki Ninjas, these sorts of bikes which people take down to a racetrack. Although there's not that many racetracks here, but how is it we can see more of the Vietnamese come over to the ADV scene? Why are they all gravitating towards the road bikes here? Why not?
Road bikes are cool. Well, what I get from the kids, the kids say, like, why have you bought that and not this? That's the main thing. They're dangerous because the suspension is too low down. You get backache.
On the race bikes, road bikes.
Yeah. For example, the CBR 500, like.
I mean, it's for
half an hour.
It's for a different style of riding because I rode a Ninja 400. Here, there's a Vietnamese guy that had one, and I know some people that they have a mix of different bikes, and I rode one, and I gotta admit, like, I got on it, and I was like, I got on it, and I went, and it has a slipper clutch, and I just, like, and I wheelied it a little bit, like, just a little bit off, and I was like, oh, and then he got back, he's like, you like it? I was like, oh my god, the power. But, yeah, it is kind of nice, but, like, that one's a sport touring, so you could tour on that one, and I've met a guy when I traveled up to...
You'd slip a disc on one of them things.
Well, I mean, that one...
disc's gone.
But
leaning forward too much.
It's the ones you want to put up on the wall, and they look cool, and they are fun and twisties, but, like, I think for the roads here...
Yeah.
Nah, too dangerous.
I mean,
I know a question.
What was the question?
Sorry, but, like, they are fun. They are fun to ride, but...
The question was, why are Vietnamese gravitating towards these style of bikes? There's a lot of the CBs at the moment. There's like 2 or 3 different Facebook groups for them. They're easily accessible in Vietnam. They can buy them from a dealership. They can buy it on finance, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, so the dealerships only stock a limited number of models, and the dealerships are pulling in the road bikes, not the adventure bikes, the off-road bikes.
Something I noticed with the Z1000 is it's a lot smaller.
Yeah.
Than, I was like, no, I could actually ride that. And before, I never thought I'd be able to sit on one of them and be able to ride.
But I think the locals are scared of the height of the off-road bikes, so they will go towards the lower...
Falling over,
even the
not
XRs,
being able to pick it up.
No, they'll put both feet on the ground, like, and not...
I used to try to buy my CRF, sitting on it, like, one leg hanging off.
And they're not comfortable with it.
Yeah, like, they couldn't...
Well, one of the main questions we get asked by the Vietnamese when they're looking to rent a bike is it too tall for me? Can I actually drive it? I was like, yeah, you can drive it. It's fine, not a problem. But one of the theories I came up with when I was thinking about this is there's only actually 2 manual motorbikes officially sold here, like on a mass scale, the Winner and the Exciter. And of course, they're both road motorbikes.
Yeah.
So the Vietnamese kids will gravitate from a road motorbike to another road motorbike, maybe a bigger one. So we've discovered, or at least I think, that the Vietnamese don't even know what adventure bikes are, what off-road bikes are. It's completely new to them.
As well.
But this country is set up, in my opinion, really well for dual sport off-road riding, and yet no one knows about it. So even on a long distance journey, you know, Ho Chi Minh to Hanoi, if a Vietnamese kid set off by themselves, they're likely to do it on an Exciter, I think.
Definitely.
I used to see them all the time up in the north. They have their Vietnamese flag on the back, full face helmets, gloves, body armor on.
Everything, and then they're on a scooter.
But it was like a rite of passage to explore the country and to take a couple of day trip with their friends.
And they're super cheap as well. You know, you can pick up a second-hand Exciter for $1,000. And then an adventure bike, I mean, just trying to get one legally is going to cost an arm and a leg. And then
even a legal one would be an arm and a leg.
Yeah.
Both arms on both legs.
But now, of course, we see BMW coming here. They're doing good. Royal Enfield, Triumph.
310 GS.
So we're starting to see BMW bikes on the road. But obviously they're premium and really expensive. So what motorbike model do you think could come here and perhaps change the Vietnamese style and maybe get them more into the off-road scene?
Well, there's the new WR155 that's coming out. That's like
the Yamaha one.
Yeah, the Yamaha one. And I mean, of course, we
similar
already
what the CRF 150.
Yeah, it's just liquid cooled as well as fuel injected, so a little more power. But then again, if you drop it and you bust those radiators, it can be a problem. But
the Yamaha comes more set up with better suspension.
It does.
It's still a 12-gram bike, though, I think.
No, not the 250R, the 155.
Oh, okay.
It's like 70 mil, I think, coming in.
Oh, it's coming here. Like, actually.
I've seen a couple already.
A little bit more than that, I think.
Oh, wow.
Well, because it's an import, so it's probably going to be around the same price as the CRF 150L.
77.
But it's made, I think, in Indonesia, or I think so. Maybe it's Indonesia. I can't remember. But it's coming here, or it's already here. I've seen some photos. People already have it. So.
I've seen one or two posted.
90 mil? Okay. And then we've got the traditional XR, one of the older ones that's been here. That's what I actually personally have.
The XR is the bread and butter of Vietnam.
It is.
Everyone should be on it. Everyone should be on an XR.
It's a good starter bike for learning too.
Easy to fix. I've taken it everywhere that I've gone on my CRF, and a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah.
If I'm honest.
And both bikes to me, and like things like as far as like I know when I got mine, I was like, it fits better than a lot of the local bikes, but it's still kind of, for me, a small bike. And I mean, I've done some things to it, like just change the bars for higher bars, risers. I've actually raised the seat on mine a little bit. So when some Vietnamese have gotten on the seat, they're like, oh, I can't touch. I'm like, and for me, it's just I have these long legs. I need to have some. It's nice to have some room. But oh god, I've ridden a Honda Charlie.
I'm looking to buy one.
But yeah, it's XR's a good one. CRF 150, those are good because they're not gonna rip your arms off. The XR, the thing I love about that bike is I've learned so much as far as wrenching, learning how to do like the basic things. Like I've had a throttle cable snap on me when I was out in the middle of nowhere. I've had to.
How did you fix it?
Oh right, so let's do a quick
That's the whole story, I guess.
So I was in Bairia. I was in the mountain near Bairia. I was going around. I wasn't trying to do any crazy off-roading. And what had happened was I was going through there and it was nice. And I got this one part. I stopped and then the bike fell over, which it happens.
Yeah.
And I picked it up and I went like this. I was just trying to start it back up and then I heard this and I was like, crap. And regardless of whether it was my doing or it was just old, it snapped. And so I didn't have a lot of tools with me because I usually take a toolkit with me whenever I go out of the city. So what I actually had, luckily at the time, was my multi-tool. And the bike already has a little toolkit, which I changed a few things on it. And then I had some steel wire. So I was able to take off the carb and just check to see if the...
Watch it.
No. So the throttle cable, I needed to see if it was broken in the carburetor where it connects. Because if it was broken there, I'm effed. Because there's no way to fix that without getting a fresh one. We had that similar situation whenever we went to Tien the first time I met you.
Myself and Lynn had to deal with it.
Yeah. And that, but luckily, I was like, okay, awesome. No, it's not mine. It was someone else that crashed. Okay. But I remembered that was the thing they checked. That was the problem. So I pulled off the carb, which is one thing I love about it because it's such a simple bike that if you have a problem, basic hand tools, you can fix most of the basic things that go wrong on it. Anyway, took the carb out, checked it. Okay, it was fine. Put that back on. Then I went up to the throttle connector and checked it, and I was like, oh crap, it snapped there. So I used the steel wire and my multi-tool, and I just kind of basically wrapped it around enough and crimped it as best I could, so that way, and I took all the plastic stuff off, so that way I could get it in gear, take it in the first second, and I could drive it out there. And then I got to a place that I got a I got to replace it. It wasn't the exact one, but it was enough to get me back to the city. And got it replaced.
It's super easy to fix. The XR.
Yeah, it just wasn't long enough. The local ones are not long enough. They found one from a bike, so now I bought an extra throttle and a clutch cable, and I'm gonna loop it on the bike, and maybe tie it off with like maybe some heat shrink strap or whatever.
People sometimes have a secondary cable, literally pre-routed.
Yeah.
If anything breaks, you just literally connect it over.
That's what I'm gonna do.
But that's the other problem in this country with the bigger bikes and the adventure bikes, and is there's no mechanics.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you go off what the locals normally use, again the Exciter and Winners, it becomes really, really hard to fix them. Have you got a shop?
That is a worry.
Have you tried fixing your CB yet?
You have to take a lot of bits off it.
I've looked around.
Does it even have a toolkit?
I've poked bits and bobs, like.
Put stickers on it. Right?
But no.
Stickers make it go faster.
It is a slight concern. I'm not gonna lie.
But with those bigger bikes, if they're more modern and new, a simple thing such as an air filter change and an oil change should be all that it requires for a certain period of time. Because you're not riding it like a motocross bike, you're not riding like an enduro bike. Even though you might be going full throttle, it's more forgiving. It's like a car.
But when you're looking to buy a bike, because you're going again towards the CB, is maintenance a factor as to why you're not going for something a little bit more aggressive?
Yes and no. Obviously, a lot of the more aggressive enduro or motocross bikes, they do require more maintenance on the piston, the valve, like valve lash and stuff. But as long as you've got some understanding of it, or have a mechanic that you trust, then I think that would be better.
Yeah.
Right. There's only certain mechanics around that you can use and things you can do.
Luckily, I've got one in Benoit. I've got quite a good one in Benoit.
Because
you can't trust a lot of people.
With my own bike now, the KTM XCF, the mechanics are so bad here now that I've started to do the mechanic work myself and study it in my free time, because I realise that unless you're going to send it to someone like Moto Lori in Dalat, there's nowhere to service your bike properly here.
True.
So
I'm even thinking the same.
Yeah.
Well, at least know how to do the basics.
Thing is, I've realised I need two bikes though. Where I want to go in the wet, I need.
And when you get there,
the thing, and then this one I can
Just
do
two.
everything in the summer.
5.
Well, one for school, one to go to work, one to go shopping.
You need an exact copy but a different colour of the big bike as well.
Oh no.
One with papers, one without papers.
Yeah, true.
Your shoes have got to match
That's,
the colour of the
that's
bike.
the thing as well. Like, it's getting the license.
But I like what you said about.
Well, the A2. That's easy, isn't it? You just
trying to find it at the moment. It's been a nightmare.
for a foreigner, but not for a local.
Can you not convert yours?
That's just a figure of 8 and some rubbishy theory test, and
What I did for my A2.
it's
It's a rubbish test.
But
Yours English.
What? No, I did the A2 through an agency to help me, but then I've converted I have a Korean license, which
I would think this would be a
over to an
big
A2.
thing in terms of like buying an adventure bike, is this upgrade in license.
Yeah.
With the police, for example, the fines double, triple, like in everything.
And you stand out too.
Yes.
I mean, I
You
stand out
more like
When they see a bigger bike, they see a larger wallet.
Yes. And unfortunately, mine is not. So that for me that is a crucial thing as well. I mean,
How many times have you been stopped?
What, on that so far?
Yeah.
Once. I've only had it 2 weeks though.
I've never
Once
done one. So.
Once enough.
If it's once every 2 weeks, that's a lot of years.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a lot, man.
Yeah,
20
twice.
something
And
times
almost
a year.
tried today.
And your one's legal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just not legal.
Yeah, okay, I see.
You can't have it both ways, can you?
Black pen A2.
I've just been umming and ahhing as well.
It would be nice if they made it easier to get here as far as it had like an English option, but I think the agents or agencies that do that service would be like all up in arms, like no, because that's a major source of revenue. But it'd be nice because I think with Vietnam, every time like there's like an accident with a foreigner, sometimes they're like, oh, you can't have a license now, and it's like they really need to provide one in English. Would be nice.
They're on the road like you come in.
Yeah, because I lived in Korea for a few years.
More money.
Up north, was it? I wasn't there.
But I lived in Korea for a few years, and I actually have a Korean license. And going through that process, they have an English option.
Yeah.
So I think it's because I like Vietnam, but I think that would be nice to give people an option because there's so many people coming here, and like, look,
They need to
motorbikes.
smoothen it out.
But motorbikes the dominant way of getting around.
You have to use an agent, and the agents have a markup.
Yeah, that's the thing. And so
If they made some of it more easily accessible or
Then they would
translated,
get
And you have to find everything
more
on
people would follow
Facebook.
legal ways of doing it.
Well, that was basically one of the questions I had is, do you think Vietnam can ever compete with places like India and Thailand and so on for big bike tours, adventure tours? And I think one of the problems with this is the whole license situation.
Yeah.
And it's such a grey area, such a mess, and no one knows how to do it.
To get them maybe home before coming out.
I've got 3 or 4 different avenues of trying to get one.
Maybe creating a temporary 1-month license that people can apply for in advance from the Vietnamese embassy.
They say you can. In England, that international one, you go get it stamped. But apparently
they don't really accept that all the time.
Yeah, the international license is a little bit different.
Embassy in England, in London.
They can probably just. I heard police officers just denying it.
Exactly, there you go.
So that depends on who you.
But that's also partly to do with their poor training. Some of them don't know if it's accepted or not. Like if you go into the middle of the countryside and you show them this grey document, which is they literally look at it and they go, "All right, yeah, okay," or they'll look at it and go, "No, passport." They don't know what it is. They've never seen it before, right?
Yeah, I've got my passport the other day.
Unless you get
legally, you're supposed to have identification.
And if
I have my driving license.
Maybe if you get translated,
passport
but
or
that's still.
GLC.
So where's the best places to so actually in the news today, I think it was, there's a new motocross track in Hanoi. Have you guys seen that?
It's existing. I've been to the old one.
Yeah, I heard about that.
It was called the Red River motocross track. It's been up there for quite a while.
So jealous.
But it was a bunch of people that just used land out there, and then they've actually now started to make it better. But it's been there for a long time.
Yeah. And it's randomly on the news today.
Yeah. Well, it actually was in the news a couple of weeks back as well.
Oh.
So some Vietnamese guys have taken more control of it, and they're having more fun there.
Yeah.
There was even a guy with a CB500 jumping out over the jump.
Your training ground. That'd be a great idea. But yeah, that'd be kind of cool if we had one down here.
Well, there is actually a motocross track in Saigon, but you got to know the guy who knows the guy who knows the guy.
It's an invite.
It's very difficult.
As well?
I've not done that one. Not that I know of.
There's one
There's one over Long Tan as well.
Oh, really?
There's one over there somewhere. I think so, I'm pretty sure.
It'd be nice if they open that up to people. Like, I mean, I know they're trying to do it invite only, but still, like, that'd be nice to have.
The reason is because it's insurance purposes. Like, they don't have insurance or that stuff. It's a group of friends that have acquired the land. So they don't actually own the land. They've acquired it to use through friend networks. That's what I was told by them. So I did that event with them back in January.
Right.
And we stopped there. We actually had to go there and drop off all their bikes, and they've all got their own individual container. They all share the fees.
I see the videos.
Once a year, they get a guy from Thailand to come over. They provide the full diggers, and he breaks it all down and makes a brand new track for them every year.
Wow, that sounds
sick.
awesome.
Yeah, they fly him over and look after him. He's
there
for like.
Have you been there?
No, but it sounds awesome. Next venture, Tigit Motocross track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done it once. It was a really good day out. Like, it was a lot of fun.
I walked around it. Actually, he drove his car around half of it. He had a 4x4, and he drove over half of it, and that was quite funny.
That'd be really cool to go see. I've heard of it, but I want to go check it out.
I'd like to go check it out as well.
Take your CV.
No way.
Why not?
No.
Why not,
what did I say to you?
That'd be a safe place to learn.
An elephant cannot fit through a keyhole as majestic.
But you can. I think. Yeah.
So
Widen the keyhole.
Where's the best places to go adventure riding in this country? The south, the north?
Everywhere.
Just everywhere.
And
there's no right or wrong.
Trail, go down it. Have a look.
The country is so diverse.
Yeah.
You've got the mountains of the north, you've got the different weather in the north.
I love it.
You've got the sand dunes in Munay, you've got the red soil in Baolok, Pleiku. As you go near China, it's just endless, vast, limestone karst mountains.
Yeah.
So it's stunning.
So much variety, Yeah. And you can go from the mountains to the coast in half a day.
Yeah.
Like, just
Not even that, yeah.
It's just incredible.
Dalat to the Nha Trang or down to Munay, through sand, through red river
beautiful.
crossings.
You've got every sort of habitat you want.
The forest, national forest.
I love that.
And for the most part, like it's not like
elephants.
Yeah. And for the most part, it's not like people are saying, "Oh no, don't go here." As long as you're not causing any problems, you're not causing any damage, you're not destroying. No one, I wouldn't say cares, but no one's going to bother you. So you're in a way kind of free.
Very rarely do people not enjoy you being there.
Oh,
They
so
usually
friendly
enjoy it.
here.
Always meeting indigenous people.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, thank you." Like, they're like, "Welcome." Where have you? Like, you come out the bushes. It's like, "Oh my God, you're here. Thanks for coming." Like, it's like, "Oh wow, really?" Like,
unless you're Vincent, then you get sticks.
Oh.
Guy chased Vincent with sticks last time.
Or is that free Tien?
We were that last ride that we did. Who were we with?
I got stranded by elephants the
group that we went in February.
No, it was the one day that we did not long ago with.
I don't think I was with you on that. No.
Vincent was on his WR and we went past this guy's house, and this guy was quite like an old guy, maybe 50s, 60s, quite toned and tanned in his little farmland, and Warren was adamant that it was through this little thing, and this guy came straight out, literally put his shoes on, run over and picked up 2 sticks, and he was all angry, and as Vincent was coming out, he was chasing after Vincent.
Where are those?
It was in the gum. So when you cross the highway, so you know when we do that little one-dayer that crosses the highway and goes around, it was up in there somewhere.
Or Catlai.
Not Catlai, before Catlai. Near Swan Lap.
But certainly in Tien now, 2 years ago, not a single person knew about it, to the point we even arranged a tour with expats to go through it, and it was unique and the first time for everyone. But now I reckon every single weekend you're going to have a group of dirt bikes going through there, and you can see a change in the locals
Vietnamese
already.
like Honda Cubs.
Yeah.
Depends where you're going. I mean, the way I go.
You go a different way.
And I've got little local people that I meet. That, hello, I see you again. Like, so, and a lot of the ones I
explore well.
Yeah, and the ones I meet in Green Bamboo, they haven't come that way.
There's that other guy, Saigon Riders.
Come the other way.
He does a real relax. He does mostly road, and then he only does some of the trails.
Yes.
But then he does lots of more stuff, which is like through rice paddies and over to small bridges.
It's his trail that I took, and I started going off from. But he was the original. So I bought an old XLR off him, and I started with that. And he said, "Oh, I'll link you into my map," and I took that, but it only showed me the KTM one. So that's the way I went first, and I've just explored from that, built my own sort of thing.
There's some cool ones here.
How do you build your maps, or are you just making it up as you go? Just in your head?
I don't trust that though.
Can't
Seriously?
rely.
Share it.
How many wrong turns did we take?
Rever,
this way.
Rever, the Geo Tracker. I ended up in the elephant pen. Yeah, riding around in the elephant pen.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've all ended up there at some point.
No.
My memory's pretty good. Like when I was following you,
Yeah.
I'd stop and I'd have to wait for Calvin to come back, and I might be going this way.
Yeah, I'm not even joking.
Because all my trips, I draw lines on my maps, like absolutely 100% accuracy. I draw the lines, then I draw the bailouts. So my next planned trip, which is Dalat up to Pleiku, so far it's probably about 8 hours of line drawing. It's an hour every single night.
That's my plan next month. I was going to go to Queen Yon, and I was going to rent a bike to go through around that area. And stuff.
It's going to be awesome. There's crazy deep tracks.
There's like old volcanoes with the rice
That's
paddies
why
on them.
everything in Dong Nai is orange, apparently, because of that volcano.
Oh.
That's why if you're looking
It's
back
clay.
Yeah, but the porous rocks. Apparently that volcano was why everything is so fertile. Apparently. So the tour guide was chatting to me.
It's probably rubbish.
But no, it makes sense. It makes sense. Like lava rock, you know that thing in
Lava rock.
yeah. Same thing in around Vietnam. There's big, huge like parts of that porous rock. Well, that is volcanic rock, and that weren't lifted there.
Aliens maybe brought it.
You know what I mean?
Good stuff.
It wouldn't surprise me around here.
But your trip from Dalat to was it Pleiku?
Well, it's an estimate. We don't ever finish it.
That sounds really cool though. I need to do like
It's going to be a camping trip.
How are you drawing? Are you on like a physical map?
So no, on my
That's what you
maps.
would do.
So my maps, and then you draw all the lines. It's painstakingly slow.
And you're doing Maps.me still?
Yeah, and then you export it and you put it into Maps.me, and then you don't have to worry about
So
signal and
I'll
all.
be able to link mine in there then.
Yeah.
Sort of
I mean,
joint.
And then use GeoTracker to record the GPS.
Right.
So then you have, after a trip, you now have an accurate document. You export it, and then you can re-import it into my maps.
Okay.
It works
One for
well.
the exploring,
I need
and
to
one
learn how to
after
do
you've
that.
done it.
Yeah, so
As like a definitive.
yeah.
I usually use Reaver because a lot of us are on it.
But Reaver, once it's on there, it's stuck on there. You can't just export it without a membership and all this sort of stuff.
That's what Warren did. So he took my map, using his tablet without membership, he was able to export and edit it and put it back in.
Oh.
I don't know how we did that.
He said he used a tablet, and I was like, why are we using a tablet, not on your phone? He goes, well, my site's bad. But he figured out how to do it.
Okay, so there must be a way. Because it's nice that we can share different routes and stuff like that. So it's nice because we don't always get to all ride together.
Rever's cool for the fact that you can do a ride, and then literally as soon as you upload it, all your friends have access to it.
That's what I like about it.
Without having to pay for it. And then you can just say, ride it. But you need Wi-Fi.
But something I think that's really important is I ride with some people, like for example a new chap I met, and it's paying attention to the locals, not just rambling through. Stop it. Saying hello.
Yeah.
Making an
Sure.
effort.
I'm not good at that.
This doesn't always work for me though. I know what you mean.
Because that's what enables me to be going there and getting lost, and they're like, oh, hello again. Just rambling through.
So if you documented your maps in too much detail, you wouldn't do that.
Well, like I've been, when I worked with a bicycle company out here, the amount of times that we'd stop and the owner's Vietnamese and he'd talk to them and they'd be going, no, you can't go through that way. And he'd be like, but it shows on the map that we can, and they're like, no, you just go this way and there. And because what they're thinking is, why would you want to go through this muddy place? There's a river crossing.
Yeah.
Completely misunderstanding the factors that we want to go out and have fun, get muddy, and explore. They're just trying to be nice by telling you the quickest and easiest way. Because it's in the countryside. It's like, no, just do that.
Yeah. Yeah, mate.
Just let us through. Just let us through.
Thank you.
So have you done any of the meetups? There's I don't know what it's called actually. There's a Enduro meetup that goes in Dalat sometimes, and they're doing one in Lagui soon.
Yeah. Rob,
you went once.
I did the one in January. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
The guys are really nice. They're all properly set up for this. They've all got 4x4s, really nice bikes, all the gear. They're really friendly.
All the stuff
it
we
wasn't
want,
that
we don't have.
expensive, but I understand that one of them's trying to set it up as a business.
All the equipment is expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, right.
Sure,
So
yeah.
there was a few people with older bikes.
that's the
Some
thing.
people that just rocked up by
Upgrades on mine.
themselves.
You did a 250L, didn't you?
Yeah, but they took the bike
To
up
upgrade
there.
your
I want.
Oh.
Like to
And then,
make
for
it.
example, our
Okay,
friend
I could throw
You
this
drove
into
up there?
some tracks now. £3.5 at least.
So your bike was how much?
To buy it was, I don't know how much in dollars, 175 Vietnamese.
Yeah,
Ding-dongs.
and then you need another
But I
three
need about 3.5
ding dongs.
to make it off-road ready.
Yeah, $3,500. Yeah. Yeah.
That's the only problem.
That's the only
It's
problem.
the same with every bike. The Hondas make nice bikes, but they all need upgrading to make them something more, which is then you're moving that bike from what it's potentially designed for. You're putting it more to the extreme side of what it could be used for.
Yeah. And something I'm also a bit concerned about is the clearance on the front mudguard.
Ah,
between
okay.
the tyre.
Yeah.
So if I increase the tread on the tyre, I've still got this little minimal.
You can whack that up
You
underneath.
can, but how would that? Who's going to get to
Rally
it?
Raid products.
I've looked at that.
Which
but all
are
I see-
expensive
all I see
as
are
hell.
Springs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are. They're
All
not
I
Seriously.
see is springs, not the mudguard.
You can modify them quite
You
easily.
can also buy a mud.
Who are you going
buy
to
a
get?
super
Where are you going to
motard
get that
mudguard.
stuff to modify that?
Yeah, but this is back to the mechanic problem in this country. Is
And
There's a video of a
import,
guy
yeah.
putting the higher fender on, and it's literally a metal bracket. So it's like a little metal bracket like this with holes in it, which screws on up in, and then the fender screws onto that. It's that simple.
it'll be a year later and he still wouldn't have done it.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
it-
Mate,
I know when it's simple.
I've
watch
heard
this
of
5-minute
just
YouTube and
taking
you
off.
can do it. I know I can't fucking do
I've
that.
heard of someone coming off though because of.
Yeah, we had a customer. No, we actually had a customer get really angry about it. They said a stone got jammed between the tire and the mudguard,
Stones.
and I said it's not an off-road bike. You know, it's
And also that could have happened to any bike.
well, not an off-road bike.
No. Anything with
They need a bit of
front
fun.
But I feel the marketing for these
Meteor,
bikes
like
is misleading. You have especially BMW, you got these pictures of these
Yeah.
bikes going through all this crazy terrain, and realistically, they don't do it that well.
Professional stunt rider.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a super dude rider on it.
But for like long sweeping roads, like some of the stuff that me and Rob did on our 2-day trip I think was perfectly fine. I mean, we did some of the stuff maybe on the smaller bikes that you probably could like be like, oh, I shouldn't do it, but they did them just fine. Maybe at a slightly slower pace.
Yeah.
Like with the sand, that was the only part that I really got scared. I think, and some of the maybe the hill climbs. But then
We
as
both
soon-
fell over once in the sand.
Yeah, we both fell
But
over
it
once.
literally was a pop.
Yeah, it fell on my leg, but I was luckily it was where the bag was
So
where
you
the rear
understand
saddlebag
that fast in
was,
the sand.
and I had my large off-road boots on. So, I mean, the guy, some guy rode past me. I looked up and he just ride on past me. I'm just like, okay,
I
whatever.
asked him,
And I was able,
have you seen another guy? And he's like, yeah, he's over there.
and I was able to kind of like push it up enough
Thanks.
to get my leg out. But I think for some of the stuff, like the sand was the only thing because I just know with the bigger bikes from what I've been researching, and then when I was riding, I was like, I can't treat it like a big dirt bike because
Well, sand's hard for any bike. It's one of
and
the
you want to
hardest.
go faster, but the thing is I usually go a bit slower on sand than everyone else does because everyone just guns it, and I'm just like, I like to keep momentum. I don't like to just go like floor it because thing is, if I come off, I'm gonna be coming off, or something's gonna happen way faster than I want it to. And on the bigger bike, I'm
Falling
just
over in sand.
well, not fast enough to keep it up, but not fast, but not super fast to where if something happens, whatever, I don't go flying off the bars. So I just like to keep a balanced speed where I'm in control.
That's happened a few times.
And yeah, and like I've noticed there's parts where we're going through and you would just fly past me. And I'm just like, well, this is the first time I've really rode this thing off road, so I gotta kind of just go at my own pace, and then you know. I'm
the same bit.
Yeah, but I got comfortable with it, and I was having some fun. I got the rear end out one time by accident. You remember that one? I was like, oh, because I leaned it over a little too far, and it went like that, and I was like, oh.
Sweet Jesus.
Good time.
I think I'm about done.
Calvin, tell us some more stories. That's all you need.
Oh, bye. I think they're